Hi, I'm Lee Herbert, and in this video I'd like to take you, if I may, on a little journey of how this project that I've recently almost wrapped up came into being, and the genesis and how it sort of progressed from where it started and where it sort of ended up. So to begin with, I had this idea for a show. It was basically a travel show, but an exchange program with photographers. So let's say, for example, you have a photographer in Singapore and a photographer in London, and you fly the photographer in Singapore over to London. The local London photographer shows the Singaporean around London as a photographic destination, and then the London photographer flies over to Singapore, and the Singaporean photographer shows them around Singapore as a photographic destination. So that was like the basic concept of the idea. I thought we could do like a series of 10, and I've done some work with some airlines in the past, so I figured I could pitch the idea to some airlines and see if they wanted to fund it, which is always one of the big challenges with shows, because I mean, I've got tons of great ideas. It's finding someone who's going to pay for it to make it happen. That's always the challenge. So that was the original idea. And then I was talking to a couple of other friends of mine, and they're always saying to me, "Oh, Lee, you should shoot a project on phones. You should shoot a project on phones." And I've always said to them, like, look, I'm happy to do a project on phones, but I want to do it when it's right. I don't want to do it just for the sake of like the gimmicky side of it. I want to do it when it suits the project. And as I started thinking more and more about this travel, photography exchange program, I thought this could actually work, because one of the big ideas for me of this was that I wanted to make it like a very small and agile crew, so nimble, being able to get around easily, not big lights and all that sort of jazz. So I thought maybe maximum sort of 5 people in total. So you got the 2 photographers, 2 camera operators, and a producer. And I thought maybe even we could cut the producer out and just have 2 camera operators, one of them being the producer. FY, that's a terrible idea, and I'll explain why later. So that was the original idea. I was then telling this idea to a friend of mine, my wife. I can't remember who I was telling the idea to, and they said to me, "Oh, cool, so the photographers are going to be using phones." I said, "No, the camera crew who's filming them is going to be using phones." And I thought, wait a minute, that's even a better idea. So then the sort of whole concept of it developed into, well, what if instead of it being 2 photographers using their cameras, 1 photographer is using the camera and 1 photographer is using the phone? And that adds a nice sort of educational element to it. So, you got a bit of travel, you got some food in there, you got beautiful photos, but you're also potentially teaching people how to take better photos with their phones. Now that's quite a cool idea. So that was sort of how the whole sort of concept developed. And then the challenge was of, well, how do we pitch this idea? So normally how you do this is you put together a pitch document, normally like 2 or 3 pages max, and you use this to pitch it to your contacts at clients or commissioners at TV channels and so on. But I thought, because this is an interesting idea and I really, really like the idea, I thought, you know what, let's shoot a pilot. Because I can get some friends together, we can shoot it here in Melbourne, and let's shoot a pilot so we can actually get how excited I am about the project. So we shot a pilot, and I'd like to show you that pilot. There'll be a link in the description below of how to go and see that pilot, all shot on iPhones. And I now want to create a series of videos. So this is part 1, and there'll be part 2, 3, and 4, where I want to talk about the technical aspects of how we shot it, because there were some challenges in terms of what app we were going to use on the phone, what phones we were going to, well, we were always going to use iPhones. I'm a fanboy, I admit that quite clearly. We were always going to shoot this on iPhones. But, what phones we're going to use, the cameras, there's a lot of, audio, don't even get me started. That was one of the biggest challenges to make sure that we got good audio. Lighting, research, all that kind of stuff. And look, it was a very fun journey for me to go along this, to create this pilot, and I hope it'll be fun for you as well to go through all the technical sides, and we'll do that in some more videos also. We shot the pilot in the beginning of February 2020. I know, great timing to be shooting a pilot for a travel show that you want to pitch to people. Well, look, it was fun anyway, and the situation at the moment in the world won't be around forever, and we will start traveling again, and hopefully there'll be a market for this show again, when we get through it. So be sure to subscribe, like if you liked. If you didn't like, hit the no like button and let me know why in a constructive way. And look out for the next video where we start talking about the technical aspects of how we shot this all on iPhones. And we'll catch you later.